Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I am here with my wife, Dr. Alicia, and we are down in Orlando, Florida. Hey, babe.
You know what? You did not tell me I was going to be part of this.
I know I totally didn't. I totally surprised you. I didn't mean to do that. Am I forgiven?
Well, okay. So I want to know what's the topic. What am I supposed to be talking about?
Well, the topic, actually, the reason I felt like I should have mentioned it. I did. I'm guilty of not communicating, but I should have mentioned it. But I was thinking about how you would be great for this topic because we were talking about the miseducation of the Negro, and I came to you today. I got to Orlando, y'all. It was a long trip, so I came all the way down to Orlando. You guys know the All Black National Convention is this weekend, and we get started in a couple of days. And I got here early, and after this long trip, I brought my mother down with me. And
Hmm.
during the trip, my mother and I were talking about black-owned businesses and how we know a lot of people who have good black-owned businesses, and the businesses die because the kids abandon the businesses. You
Hmm.
know, the kids don't
Hmm.
want to do what their parents did. And I mentioned that to you, and I was telling you how this really fired me up and made me think. And I made a post on my Instagram, which is the Real Boyce Watkins, about that. And I just thought that it would be that you would be a good person. I mean, that you'd be good for this conversation because you started mentioning the miseducation of the Negro,
Yeah.
and how Carter G. Woodson talked a little bit about that. So actually, so I'll go ahead.
No, what did I say? Tell everyone what I said.
Well, what you said
What
was
did I
really
say?
interesting. Okay, so what we were talking about, everybody, was a lot of black businesses die
Hmm.
because the kids don't want to be business owners and to do what their parents did. They don't respect their parents. They respect the white man more than they respect their own family. And I was trying to think about where that came from. And you mentioned the miseducation of the Negro. Carter G. Woodson talked about how a lot of kids will go and be educated, but people don't understand education is also an indoctrination
Indoctrination.
process. And you're
Hmm.
not just given your skills and tools and information, you're given your value system.
Hmm.
So a lot of kids go to school, and in school you're trained to honor a specific system. You're trained to honor a specific way of thinking. It gives you your aspirations, right? So you send your
Well,
kid.
it influences you. It influences your thinking, and then, at the time you go into college and start to become educated, it's just like that is where you're more vulnerable. That's why 18 they send you to college. 18 they send you into the military because you're
Mm,
very susceptible at that age. You're just forming into being yourself. You're not a child. You're not quite an adult, really. So it's that formative years. That's the nice sweet spot to indoctrinate you. So it's that age. Like me and you, we're kind of like, we're
set no
done. You
ways,
can't, our brain is hardwired.
right?
But in the 18, 19, 17, your brain is not hardwired. That's the time where they can mold you into what they want you to be. And so that's what I think that was the crux of what Carter G. Wilson was talking about in his book.
Wow.
Hmm.
And by the way, let me know if you can hear us okay. We're laying here, we're doing a pillow. We decided to do a quick pillow talk. We're not going to be long because I'm actually really tired from traveling. But I got really fired up
Hmm.
when this conversation topic came up. Because I was thinking about
Hmm.
I know a person who runs a really good business, and they're really sad because they said none of our kids want to do this business,
Yeah.
and the one son that they thought was going to take over the business, he left the family business so he can go get a job.
Hmm.
Right? He wants to go, work for the man. And I said, and my mother said, well, the kids sometimes don't see how much work went into creating the business. And I said, actually,
Or it could be the opposite.
right,
Maybe they could see
they saw how
all
much
the
work,
work that you have to do
right.
into the business and they could see it and just say, you know what, I don't know if I wanted to take all of that on.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So and I said, on one hand, you want to give kids room to be who they're going to be, and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But then I thought about that, and I said, it's interesting because why do we have so many young people who don't value pouring their intellect and their skill sets into their own family, but they do value pouring their skills and intellect into white-owned companies? You
Mhm.
know, like
Mhm.
because when whoever you work for, whoever, remember you're giving them 100,000 hours of labor in your adult life, 80 to 100,000 hours of labor, which is worth
Mhm.
millions of dollars. So you're pouring millions of dollars of resources into something, right? So
Mhm.
when you go work for that white man, you're giving him millions of dollars. You know, you're giving
Mhm.
him millions of dollars worth of labor and capital that he's building on top of. And so when you go through school and they tell you what your values should be, they tell you what you should desire, they tell you where your aspirations should lie. I wonder if there's something about this, like if it starts with the
Mhm.
fact
Well,
that we don't educate our own kids.
yeah, well, not only do they tell you where it lies, but they also tell you that the thinking of which you came from is somehow less than their thinking. So it's not like I'm going to introduce you to something different. It's going to be, I'm going to introduce you to something better. This is
Mm,
better than what you were seeing. And so you get this message that starting your own business or going back home to work with the family business is somehow less than. And part of it is ego,
mm-hmm,
because if we lived in the
mm,
olden days, it's like you're going to be a farmer. Well, why? Because your dad's a farmer. It's like you never had to choose. Now we live in the age where you do choose. Everyone's telling you choose whatever you want to be. You can be. Follow your dreams. And I'm not saying all of that is bad. I'm just saying is that you know it used to be you can be any type of farmer you want as long as it's a farmer because you come from a family of farmers. You don't get to choose. There is no ego in that.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know.
mean, well, you know, I mean, I think we got to start to really question certain assumptions. Like, remember, we outsource the education of our kids. You know, we
Hmm.
hand them to the school district, and they spend more time with their white school teachers than they spend with their own parents.
Wait, let me tell you. I'm guilty. I probably TikTok is probably teaching my children more than anything.
Yeah.
It's right in their phones. That's probably shaping them in a way that I think is probably not healthy. I think I should probably like do a better job monitoring what the kids are
Well,
watching on social media. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense,
well,
that.
the way to look
Mhm.
at it is like the reason my brother works with me, my brother's a huge asset for me and my company,
Mhm.
is because I poured into him. I talked to him whenever I could. I was teaching him the game whenever I could. I was
Mhm.
educating him whenever I could. And what that did was that made him connect to me. That made him
Mhm.
look up to me. You know, that made my values influenced him, right? Because I took
And then
that
he was
time.
open for that. I mean, it has to take somebody who's open for that.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But then generally though, like if
Mhm.
you have a 5-year old will spend time with whoever will sit and play with him. You know, and
That
that's
is
what I
so
did. When
true.
he was 5, I would play with him. I would talk to him like, hey, what's going on, man? And so then he's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20,
So you
30,
indoctrinated him, Boyce.
35 years old. Well, to some extent, maybe you could say that it wasn't deliberate,
Mhm.
but it was like me doing my job as a brother. Like I was supposed to be an influence on him.
Mhm.
I was supposed to be a guide for him. I was supposed to be a protector for him. You know, and so now my brother, he's coming to the convention. He's my number one business partner, and he's been a multi-million-dollar asset in my
He
organization
sure has.
because I was able to really pour into him. So I kind of think that, you know, when you think about this, like a lot of black wealth gets lost, trillions of dollars gets lost
Mhm.
because we have black business owners who do the first leg of the run. They build a great business in one generation, and then they pass to the kids, and the kids are like, fuck this business. I'm going to go work for IBM.
Mhm. Mhm. They
You
want to do
know,
something totally different. Well, I mean, you must be thinking about this because we've been watching that show Secession
well, no,
on
I
HBO.
wasn't thinking about it because of secession. I was
You
thinking,
weren't okay.
no, I was thinking about it because my mama had told me about somebody
Oh
who
yeah,
had a
yeah.
good,
I
yeah.
remember you talking
And then
about that.
I knew
But
his,
then we've been watching that movie too. I
well,
mean, that TV show.
yeah, well, that's part of it too. And
Hmm.
I think generally you got to think about the secession plan. And I always
Hmm.
think about succession plan for my business because, you know, I work very hard with my company, and I'm not gonna, you can't just pass your business to your kids just because they're your kids. Like they have to earn that. And I think also, who says that they have to be the ones who are running the company after you're gone? Like, you know, I'm sure that, you know, like you think about it, companies like Apple, you don't see anybody named Jobs running Apple, right? You
Well, they
don't,
have a board of
right.
trustees, right? A
Exactly.
board.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Right. You look at IBM, you look at Ford, you look at
Hmm.
Disney. The Disney family benefits from Disney, but they don't run Disney. They
Hmm.
might have a Disney family member on the board,
So
but
would you do an IPO? Would you go public and stuff and have
no,
a
I'm
board
not.
of directors
I
and
wouldn't do all of
you
that.
wouldn't do that? Okay.
No, but I would probably have a board. I would have a board
Okay.
of people that embody the values of what we believe in. Like we believe in the B1 philosophy. We believe in the Black Core of Three: educate our own
Hmm.
children, create our own jobs, support Black businesses. We believe in putting Black people first. We believe in education over ignorance. Things like that. So I would probably, as a matter of estate planning, have a board where I say, I'm going to endow you. I'm going to leave you millions of dollars of resources, but as a group, you're going to manage this. Like I got people on my team who are there because they believe in the mission, and those are probably the people I'd leave my company to. And then if you had a child or a relative who wants to be a part of that, they have
Hmm.
to earn their way in like everybody else.
Oh, for sure. You definitely have to show and prove.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can't duplicate you, boys. There is no. When you were created, they cracked the mold on it.
Yeah.
You're one of a
Well,
kind,
I don't want them to crack the mold.
but we have.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that unique and original. To
You
be.
are unique in every.
Well,
I mean, and
well,
that's the sad part about it. I mean, like you see all these people who are, definitely visionaries like yourself, and once they, pass on, it's like their mission dies, and we don't want that to happen for us. We don't want that to happen at all. Like, why can't I join the Niagara movement? What happened to the Niagara movement?
yeah.
It died with the leader.
Right, and
So
that's
you
why
don't
you
want
don't.
that.
Right, and that's why you don't need one Black leader. You need
Right. It
thousands.
needs to be really bigger than you. So it can't just be Boyce Watkins. It has
Yeah.
to be bigger than that, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly. I mean, that speaks exactly to how we structured the convention.
Right.
The All Black National Convention, which is happening this weekend, by the way, is not. It's not about me. It's about all these really smart Black people that are out here, where I can do my little part to give them a platform. Like people don't even know, like Dr. Maurice Greene, who's just one of 60 speakers we have. He runs the Black Doctoral Network. Like you're a member. Like there's thousands of
Hmm.
PhDs in this organization. This brother started this group, and I was sitting there thinking this guy should be, he should be as well known as me. There's another one. This other brother, I forgot his name. He's coming. See, this is so stupid. Ken Burns, Dr. Ken Burns, has a PhD in economics from Michigan State, and he runs the Black Business League, started by Booker T. Washington, where they are literally doing diplomatic missions to Africa and establishing multi-billion-dollar.
Wait,
Uh,
Booker T. Washington?
yes,
What?
yes. This
Tuskegee? Wait, you can't come on. I was
Oh,
born in
Tuskegee.
Tuskegee. I'm supposed to know
Yeah,
this.
you're gonna meet Dr. Burns. I mean, that's just two.
What?
That's literally two. I got 59 to go. I could keep going.
You're gonna introduce me to everybody? I really
I
want to
will
meet these
introduce you to
people.
as many people as I can. To be
Okay.
honest with you, when I started making a list of all the intelligent Black people that were in our network, I got overwhelmed because there were so many. And so to me, it's like, why are we? What is the deal? I mean, everybody loves, like we love Malcolm, we love Marcus Garvey, right? Like, in fact, I think it's a crime that our children don't know about these men, these honorable, amazing human beings, great leaders like Dr. Claude Anderson, etc. I think they're all extremely important. But one human being can only do so much.
Yeah.
One man can't be everything for everybody. So what you really want to aim for is you want Black leadership by committee. And that was literally the thinking here, because they can't kill us all.
Mm-hmm.
They can't take us all. So I think at the end of the day, you really have to think about what's influencing our kids. Like the reason we let college students into the convention for free is because I said these kids are being indoctrinated, that these universities are teaching them to honor
Mm-hmm.
white people. They're teaching them to go work for white companies and to pour into the white economy. And it's nothing against white people. We don't hate anybody, but those are our kids. Those are our goddamn kids. So they need to be hearing from the Black professors first.
Okay.
Black first.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't apologizing for it ever. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean that all makes sense. It's always great to have that. Always great to have that. This is good, and I really do hope that after the convention, you start putting in place some of the things that you just talked about in terms of succession planning, boys. I think you're going to be at it for all the way to your last breath. Like, there's never ever going to be a time where you're not going to be at this mission. But I do think you do need to like start thinking about what you're going to do.
Oh, I already talked. Well, we sat down with that estate planning lawyer for
We
6 hours.
did.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was a long day.
Yeah. Well, that's because the lawyer was slow. He just, I
Stop
think
calling him
I
slow.
liked it. I mean,
He was, you know what?
he
He was
wasn't
very
he
thorough.
wasn't mentally slow. He was just
He
slow.
was just thorough. He
He-
kept like saying things
well, he just I
repeated.
think he honestly I feel like he was just happy to have us in his office.
He was.
And he like I got Dr. Boyce Watkins in my office, so I'm gonna just waste his time all day. I love him. He's a great lawyer, but man, I was like, dude, you could have did this in an hour. Come on now. We was
He
on
was,
six
and he was
hours.
very interesting. I
He
thought we were
was.
supposed to have
He
drinks with he and his wife or
I
something.
know I liked him.
Whatever
He
happened to
gave a
that?
lot of good advice too, and we were able to get all the documents signed and the whole state plan together. Remember the black bag? You got if something happened to
Wait,
me
what black bag? Oh, the
in my
black
office.
bag.
Yeah, I told you about
You
that.
got to show me again because
Well, I
you
gotta show you again. Yeah,
moved.
because the thing is, you said I'll go at it until my last breath, which I don't doubt. But you don't know when my last breath is gonna be. You gotta prepare.
I don't want to talk about that.
This could be the last all black national convention I ever do.
Don't you
You
dare.
know, and the
I
thing
curse it to the root,
well, here's
Maurice.
we're gonna curse it to the root, but we're gonna also keep it real, you know, and keeping it real means it has to be bigger than me. It's definitely bigger than me. I do not want, you know, if something was to happen to me, I would want the energy. I want the idea to be bigger than the
To
person.
continue on, of
Yes, it's
course.
not like
Hmm.
people are not here. This convention is not here. This is not the Boyce Watkins convention. We're not here because of Boyce Watkins. We are here because of the idea. We are here because we are black first. We are here because we believe in our community. We are here
Hmm.
because we're investing in our kids. We are here because we're claiming our sovereignty. That's why we're here. You know, and I always want the idea to always be bigger than any man or any woman that's a part of this forever.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, and I need you to remember that too, because you know, if you was handling my state, I want you to make sure you let people know that. Forget Boyce. This ain't about him.
It's go time. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
about
what to
us.
do.
Yeah, it's about all the smart
Hmm.
black people coming together and doing something good for the community.
It's
Mhm.
so funny because this resort, like when I entered this resort, it's nothing but like old white men
Oh, really?
playing golf, and they were
Uh,
all kind of like checking me out. I was like, "You better back off,
they're
Grandpa.
checking you out.
I ain't interested in you."
Well, you
But
are.
I was like, they're in for a big surprise because in
Well,
a couple of days, the whole color is about
oh,
to
the
change.
whole hotel gonna get real black real fast. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah,
Oh, it's gonna be great.
yeah. There's like our happy smiley photo and one of the
I like
pictures
that
Charlene
photo.
took. Yeah. But yeah. Well, you know,
We got to get some more photos, some real photos. That was kind of, we were kind of playing around with those photos.
we were. But I liked it. I thought they were good.
Uh,
I think they. What do y'all think? Y'all, yeah,
I think it's okay. I think we should take some pictures while we're here.
oh,
How about that? Because then I can have like hair and makeup and all of
we
that.
could do a photo
I
shoot. I'm
wasn't
cool with that.
really. That was really your photo shoot, and I just kind of threw myself in there.
Erica said, "Back off, Gramps."
Yeah, I was. I was like, stop googly eyeing me. They
Back
were
off,
really. They
Grandpa.
just were a little too friendly.
Really? Well, you know
I was
that
like, go away.
they're probably a bunch of old, freaky old men.
I'm like, come on.
Well,
They're all wrinkled. Anyway,
by the
let me
way,
stop.
if you want to hang out with us and meet us in Orlando, you can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. We're here until Monday, and also you can join virtually. If you can't make the convention, you can just go virtually and get a pass as well. And but yeah, but generally speaking, the reason I wanted to even do this conversation, even
Yeah.
though I'm real tired right now, is because we got to understand this. A lot of wealth, most wealth is built generationally, and preservation of that wealth is extremely important. 70% of all wealthy families lose all their wealth in one generation. 90% of all wealthy families lose all their wealth in two generations. For our community, part of the reason that a lot of black families lose any wealth they accumulate is because they did not prepare their children to take over. So the importance, I cannot overstate the importance of claiming and investing in your children so that they will have a value system that will be conducive to the preservation and the accumulation of wealth. You know, and so that means that, you know, when you think about who's educating your child, what values are they giving your kids? You know, I think those things have to be processed,
Hmm. And
because that's why a lot of black businesses die, because
hmm
the children want to go work for the man. They don't. They're like, well, you know, I'm doing better than my parents because I get to be
hmm
around white people and they didn't. You know, and I think that that's a false belief. I think that they should see it as, you know, like I know I see in my life, being around black people means I'm in a better life than I would be if I had to go be around somebody else.
well, see, it's a very dynamic process, what you're talking about right now, because also we have to pay attention to what's happening in our homes, how we're treating each other on a daily basis in terms of parent-child relationships, and also, the relationships between the parents. Like, those things are extremely important, because someone comes from your household and, they weren't valued, they weren't honored, they weren't respected. They experienced some levels of trauma, and, there's some hard feelings there. They're not going to want to come and work for you. They're not going to want to
Mm-hmm.
help you out. They're going to want to do whatever they can to get the hell out of there. And there's so
Mm-hmm.
many people that have to leave some family members behind because they're not the healthiest. They don't put them in the healthiest mind space. And so then you have those family dynamics that get played out. And so there are some barriers there, and some obstacles that have to be overcome when you're actually having a family business like that.
Mm-hmm.
What type of adverse childhood experiences did you have in those families?
That's a good point. That's a good point
It's
too.
just like, get me out of here. I'm sorry. I can't work with everybody. I can't work with everybody in my family.
Mm,
And I shouldn't. So sometimes you can have, I think that's what makes our speed networking event so important, because you can create a family. You can create a family just based on like minds. It doesn't have to be, by blood, but it could be something where you can seek out and find healthy people to be around. It doesn't have to be, especially if you come from your family of origin where it's just very tricky, and
mm.
that trust isn't there. And if you can't trust the people who raised you, you're going to have a hard time trusting anybody.
That's a good point. That's an
Yeah.
excellent point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, that the speed dating is part
But
of the
speed,
convention.
yeah, speed networking is on Friday.
It's so
Hmm.
speed dating and speed networking. So
Yeah. Speed
if you
networking
ain't
is
trying to
Friday.
hook up with nobody, then we got
You already hooked up with somebody. You just want to hook up
what.
with people you want to have that sort of connection with, on a business level.
Yeah, the speed
Hmm.
dating is gonna be fun. I'm gonna just watch. I'm gonna just sit back and
Are you
watch
going to
it.
watch? Are you going to come?
I am gonna watch. I'm gonna come in there for a minute. I'm gonna watch.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch it like I'm watching a football game. Like watching a really great sport. Like, and then make place bets on. I think we should give like an award for like the first couple that really hooks up, and like, like, or maybe they
Oh
get
my
engaged
God.
or get, because
That
people.
would be a
Well,
first
people have
stop,
got
boy.
engaged
Stop.
at the
Stop.
conventions before. You do know that, right?
Stop. That would be a dream come true. That would be an absolute dream come true to see somebody actually hook up and it works.
Well, like I said, well, there was a brother who came to
Don't
the.
make my day.
There was a brother who came to our event in Atlanta who got on his knees and he proposed to
At the
his
event?
girlfriend at the event. Yeah, and his girlfriend was like, "I didn't know. Do you want to be here?" He wanted to be here. He likes Dr. Watkins. I don't even know who Dr. Watkins is. And she said, I was so mad that I had to come to this thing, and then he got on his knee and he proposed to her.
That is so great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it has happened.
Oh, I love it.
But Karen says, "How do we register? How do you if you? I guess if you come to the convention, you can register at the door, right? When they first get here." Lene has that. Well, Lene answered that question. You know what? If you go to drboystv.com, there's a Q&A. We did a 2-hour Q&A on the convention, all the details for those who are either coming virtually, which there are virtual tickets on the website listed above, or you can also, if you come physically, then it's easier to get certain things done. But if you come virtually, there's still some stuff. We're not doing virtual speed dating, though. We can look into that for next year. But the speed dating will be happening on site. It happens Friday at the Backyard Barbecue. So the whole schedule is listed on the page. So feel free to go take a look. Faith says, I do agree all people need to teach financial management to children as young as 3 years old. Good for you, Faith. If you're doing that with your kids gonna be bad. Well, I'm gonna tell you, this stuff is really important, and I wanted to have this conversation with you guys. Just understand your most valuable asset is your children. Our children are $1 trillion asset because they're the ones who are going to hold it down when we're gone. They're the ones who are going to keep things. Because one day, in just 30, 40 years, a lot of us are going to be old. We're going to be
You
senior
are so
citizens.
right. You're
Right.
just so right. And I just like, it's tragedy. It's tragic sometimes because children can so disappoint you.
Yeah. Well,
I just have to
the
be
kids
just,
can. And it's like,
I just gotta be
but I think
like,
about like, I think about
mhm.
like my parents. Like I got my mother down here to the convention. I made sure she was taken care
Boy,
of.
y'all went through so many
Right.
obstacles to get here.
Right. And and my father, I take care of my dad. My whenever he needs anything. Dr. Claude Anderson, I look out for him. And the reason I look out for these people is because they poured into me. And that's what I would say. Is they invested in me. I'm just simply a return on their investment. So with us doing this thing, I know we want to do our thing. I know we want to get out here and make our money. We want to go be successful. But we got to pour into the kids because when we get tired and we're old and we can't do everything the way we used to, the kids are going to be the ones taking over. And you don't want to experience the wrath of having a child who feels like you neglected them, when they were younger. So that's what it is, and those are the kids that if you do want somebody that's going to step into your business and have your back or whatever, it'll be the kid you poured into. And if you don't, if that kid's not around, maybe you pour into somebody else, but you got to pour into that which will sustain you when you're not there. That's part of the reason, honestly, like just to tell on myself, that's the reason why I made 100% sure I did not want this convention or this platform to be all about me. I pour into people every day. I invest in people all the time. And you know what happens when I'm weak or when I'm distracted or when I can't do it all by myself? I got a whole posse I can call on, a whole gang of black people I poured into that I can reach out to who will come through for me,
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you invest. It ain't about you,
Mm-hmm.
So that ego stuff, it can only get you so far.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it looks like you're getting sleepy.
I'm not getting sleepy. I'm just sitting here listening to you talk. This is what you do.
Do you have any thoughts?
My thoughts about pouring into people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you raise them, and then and it's okay. Maybe you are a what was I using, farmer or whatever it is. It's okay if your children grow up and they want to be something else. They want to be a lawyer. They can come and help. If you ever had any issues, be a lawyer for your company. They can
Mm-hmm.
always contribute something to the business, no matter, even if they want to do something totally different. There's always a room for them or a place for them where they can assist. Accounting, you always need an accountant. They can be their own private accountant. I mean, so there's different ways where they can
Mm-hmm.
contribute.
That's
Definitely.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, Zena, I like what you said about homeschooling. Yeah, I personally think.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I think if you do it right, I mean, if you're like part of a homeschool network and you diversify, like you have
Yeah.
a group of parents, like really, this
There
can
has
happen
to be a system for
because that's all.
homeschooling.
Because that's all the public school system is a homeschool network. It's just more formalized. It's a bunch of
Yeah.
parents who all got together and they're paying teachers to educate their children as a group. You could do that with thousands of kids in the school district, or you could do that with 30 kids. 30
Hmm.
kids with say 15 parents who all chip in and pay educators to educate their kids. Like you can create a school system. You just have
Hmm.
to have. It's all about bringing people together, right? So if you have 30 parents in the same community with the same issue, like for example down in Atlanta, they're buying all this land. Jay Morrison was talking, brother Ben X, who we bumped into in the airport. They're all buying hundreds of acres of land right now,
Hmm.
and they want to create a black-owned community down there. Which there's a
Oh,
lot of
that's marvelous.
well, there's a lot of people that are doing that, right? A lot of people. There's a lot of initiatives being done like that, right? So they can create their own school district because all they got to do is get, again, if there's 50 kids and let's say, you got 20 parents or 30 parents or whatever, maybe 40, 50. I don't know. It depends how many parents. Let's say 50 kids and 50 parents. So 50 parents all say, okay, we want our children to get a superior education. So we're going to hire 4 educators full time that are
Hmm.
gonna, we're gonna pay each of them $70,000 a year to educate our kids. So that's a quarter million, a little more than $250,000. Let's say 250,000, round it out. That you're paying educators. You split that amongst 50 parents. What's that? 25. That's $12,500 per parent per year.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good theory. I think we just need a little more system. It has to be a little more tighter for me. Like
Hmm.
we need to really work toward getting that because I'm a working mama. And so, I would need a support system
Well, you work
for
for fun. You don't
homeschool.
have to work. Your
Excuse
coworkers
me?
your coworkers don't even understand why you come to work every day. They're like
They don't.
they're like, why are
One
you here?
one guy came in my office and he was like, "Why are you here?" I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, if I was married to Boyce, I'd be getting milking him for his bread.
You know what?
Anyway,
Was that
anyway.
what is that you do you think that's what he meant?
Well, he probably meant that,
No,
what?
he really, you know what he was saying? You teach classes at this university. You could be teaching to the world.
Yeah,
That's what he meant. That's what he
yeah,
was saying.
yeah. Like I don't really. I got myself fully convinced that there's no system the white man controls that I can't create for myself and create it better. Every
Hmm.
system he has, I'm not interested in being a part of most of his systems because I believe that we are as smart as they are, and that if we don't like a system, we can create our own. We can create our own economic system, our own
Hmm.
educational systems, our own. We can even, if I mean, if you really wanted to build black-owned clinics and hospitals, we could. We just need to bring people
There's
together.
plenty out there. The guy I went to high school with, he started that black clinic in Hyde Park, Chicago.
Yeah,
Black owned clinic. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Ruben C. Rutland. That's his
yeah.
name.
Moving C.
He
Rutland.
used to do the morning announcements in my high school, so that's how
That's
I know his
funny.
name, Ruben C. Rutland. Who
That's
knew he'd
funny.
grow up and be a doctor and
Yeah,
open his own clinic?
yeah. Well, good
Yeah.
for Ruben. Yeah,
So it's there, and I think, the convention is like a great place to network and to get to know everybody. And what a great thing, boys. You brought over 60. Every time I hear this number, it just swells. First it was 40, then it was 50, now it's up to 60. Experts are coming in. This is a treat.
yeah. This is the biggest convention we've ever done,
This
and
is progress.
for you guys to come down here, you're gonna be really impressed with the hotel.
Oh my goodness,
Our
yeah.
event planner picked it out, and we love it. It's beautiful. It's got big golf courses and two golf courses.
Well, it was dark when I got here, so I'm hoping in the morning I get to see everything.
Yeah, yeah. 9 restaurants, and
Oh my
I had
gosh.
to take a golf cart just to get to my villa. It
I
was like
ate
that far
dinner.
away.
I ate dinner here, and that was like the best food. I kid you not, it was the best food.
Really? Okay. What
It
restaurant
was,
you eat at?
I don't know, the one right when you come in the front
Oh,
lobby, just off to
okay.
the left. I just went to the first one because I was so hungry.
Oh, we gotta. Well, you gotta take me over
It
later
was
on.
just delicious.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my point, guys. So I want to just share this with you all. Just that thought. If you have a business and you want to get your children involved in the business, you probably want to not just focus on yourself and what you're trying to do in your own training. Train the babies, and train them with love and get into their head before the white
Hmm.
man does.
Yeah, and
Because the
give.
reason they want to
Mhm.
go work, sorry, the reason they
Go
want to work
ahead.
for his businesses and not yours is because they are being educated by him, and he's saying to those kids, you want to be with me, and because I'm the one who actually has the things that you desire. And I personally think that we have to be the ones to get into our kids brains first. Go ahead, what are you gonna say?
No, I was saying, help them to love themselves, help them to feel good about themselves. The words that come out of your mouth and children hear and with their ears, they believe. How could they not believe that? I mean, if you're their parent, you're the most important person in their life. And so they look to you for guidance, and they look to you to figure out who they are. And so you should be reflecting back to them the best of who they are, so that when they get into situations where it's icky and sticky, they're like, you know what? I don't have to put up with this. I'm better than this. And
Right.
they know, they start to have expectations about who and what they are, and have some self-worth,
There we
so
go.
they won't have to put up with abuse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, black people. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm exhausted, so I'm getting ready. We're gonna do one more day of prep to get ready to start the convention. It's gonna be epic. It's the sixth annual All Black National Convention. For us, by us. You can join us virtually at allblacknationalconvention.com, or if you are interested in flying to Orlando real quick, the tickets don't cost much, or if you want to drive down or whatever. I mean, the hotel's real fancy, but don't get scared. We gonna blackify. We're gonna take this fancy white hotel and make it black as hell, because they got. I hope they know they got
They in for a treat.
several hundred black people coming. So maybe you might get some white flight out of it, but I don't care. This is
No,
our.
I mean, they were nice to
They
me.
were very nice. Well, shoot, well,
So
all the money we paid, yeah, you better be nice. You get my money, you better be nice to me. But anyway, all right, everybody, have a good night. The URL's on the screen, so feel free to come check it out, and I will check in with you guys again soon. So love you, God bless you. Talk to you soon. Please hit that thumbs up button on your way out. I'll see you later. Peace.